Disney just snubbed Ryan Reynolds big time. That shade, Deadpool Wolverine grossed $1.3 billion. It seemed to like set the tone for the MCU moving forward, and now the rumors are, nope, we're not gonna get there.
Ryan Reynolds just got kicked to the curb by Disney, and it's all thanks to Blake Lively's courtroom circus that somehow turned TikTok beef into a federal case. She's suing creators, dragging in Taylor Swift, and now Ryan's career is in freefall, scrubbed from promos, dropped by brands, and fully radioactive.
When Blake Lively subpoenaed the defendant's dog walker's cousin's TikTok account, they found some really suspicious activity.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, now they're that cautionary tale Hollywood warns interns about. We're talking full-blown PR dumpster fire. I mean, subpoenas are flying out of Blake's legal team like confetti at Coachella, and Ryan? He's just standing there covered in glitter and lawsuits, wondering how the hell it all went so wrong. Let's rewind to May 15th, 2025. Disney, the actual mouse empire, snubbed Ryan Reynolds. Not ghosted, not politely stepped back, straight up iced him out. Why? Because he decided to stand beside his wife, Blake Lively, during what might be the most ridiculous celebrity meltdown since Cats hit theaters. And not in a sweet, loyal kind of way. More like the dragging your entire brand into a legal mud pit and pretending everything's fine kind of way. The guy was Hollywood's golden retriever, and now he's roadkill on Sunset Boulevard.
They wanted the Wesley Snipes and wanted him back, not some new one. To know that they're now going with Black Panther 3, a young X-Men, and they're now ignoring Deadpool?
Blake's mess started with the cringe fest marketing of It Ends With Us, a film that went from romantic drama to courtroom thriller faster than you could Google Ryan Reynolds' career collapse. What began as backlash over promo choices somehow spiraled into a full-blown war against content creators. Yeah, you read that right. She declared legal war on TikTokers. I can't.
Now, we previously reported on this a couple months ago about how Disney was not happy with Ryan about this lawsuit. Clearly, this lawsuit has affected his bottom line. He wants to pretend like it's not.
Meanwhile, the fan base, her own fan base, by the way, started turning on her like she slapped a puppy on live TV. And as if this flaming train wreck wasn't dramatic enough, people like Taylor freaking Swift bailed. When Taylor ditches you, it's done. Wrap it up. Even her most loyal girl gang members looked at this circus and said, "No thanks, babe." Blake and Ryan went from royal couple to you who invited them in record time. Now let's talk about the day Ryan Reynolds walked into Disney HQ like everything was normal. On May 15th, the guy probably strolled in thinking they were going to talk about Deadpool merch or a new PR campaign. Cute. Instead, Bob Iger himself was waiting with the professional equivalent of "you're out." This wasn't a suggestion. This was a 72-hour ultimatum. Publicly distance yourself from Blake, or we erase you from everything. That includes Marvel promos, events, posters, you name it.
Even if Bob Iger himself is getting frustrated, which he is, with this whole thing, they want it to stop. And Ryan's insisting that no, it's not going to stop.
Disney literally runs the most calculated brand machine on Earth. They don't blink unless the numbers say so. And apparently, the numbers said Ryan was officially a liability. Not an edgy maverick, not a misunderstood husband, a red-flagged PR risk. Their internal reputation radar went from yellow to red after court filings dropped on May 14th, and suddenly, Ryan was hotter than a lawsuit, and not in the sexy way. By May 16th, his name was scrubbed from 2 press events, Marvel's D23 reveal and a scheduled spot on Good Morning America. Gone. Like he never existed. They even started pushing Zazie Beetz and Josh Brolin in Deadpool 3 marketing. Side characters, y'all. Zazie's awesome, but let's be real. When studios push the supporting cast over the lead, that's a red wedding moment. Game over.
So, yeah, this is a bad update for Ryan Reynolds. It's pretty shocking that they aren't going to sort of immediately rush into a part 4, which could be a clear boon for them.
And here's the part that really makes me cackle. Ryan didn't even do anything criminal. That's the worst part for him. He just stood too close to Blake while she played legal hopscotch with the Constitution. Apparently, all it takes to get wiped from Disney's memory is supporting your wife while she subpoenas TikTokers over comment sections. You really have to respect the speed of this downfall. It's Olympic-level self-destruction. But oh, we're not done yet. Let's talk about Blake's little courtroom massacre. Blake Lively didn't just sue critics. She went full scorched earth mode. Her legal team launched a subpoena parade that hit over 43 content creators, and some reports say up to 107, most of them women, some of them survivors of domestic violence. This isn't me speculating. This is documented. And for what? For making TikToks about how badly she marketed a movie? That's not legal defense. That's diva energy on steroids.
Blake's team will probably withdraw our subpoena before the judge can even look at our case. That way she avoids consequences while we're left with the stress, the trauma, and the fear that she already got what she wanted.
People found out not through formal legal notices, mind you, but through social media. One creator literally said they discovered they'd been subpoenaed by Blake after the deadline had already passed, and their private data might have already been handed over. We're talking names, IP addresses, SIM data, contact lists, even banking info. Just for criticizing her red carpet choices. Who needs stalkers when you've got a subpoena printer?
Like us, many other content creators have been subpoenaed by Blake, most of whom are women, some of which are DV survivors. We don't know if TikTok gave her our info, or we can't get answers, and that's what's so terrifying. If a celebrity can weaponize the legal system to silence anonymous creators just for speaking out.
And if you think Blake's team was organized and respectful, think again. Content creators like Ashley Brianna Eve and Pop Diaries came out swinging, accusing her of weaponizing the legal system to silence online critics. One of them even got in a car accident from the stress of trying to file motions to protect themselves. Because, surprise, they're not lawyers. They're just internet users with opinions.
And to be fair, they had every reason to ask Marvel because of Nice Pool, the mocking, etc. There was a lot of stuff that Justin was responding to. It wasn't just SH claims that he was trying to save face for over the summer. It was all of the bad press.
This isn't just a legal nightmare, it's a full-blown attack on free speech wrapped in designer gowns and filtered Instagram selfies. And Ryan? Mr. Maximum Effort himself? He stood right next to it like a lost puppy who wandered into a crime scene and decided to defend the robber. He didn't just stay silent, he basically became Blake's unpaid legal mascot. No wonder Disney hit eject.
Bad news. This is absolutely bad news for them. And so I think it's hard to not see this as Disney getting fed up.
Ryan Reynolds built an entire brand on being likable. Funny, chill. The guy made fart jokes into an empire, but apparently all it takes is backing one woman with a vengeance complex and suddenly, you're not Deadpool, you're just dead weight. And watching him go down with the Blake ship is the most entertaining plot twist Marvel never scripted. So yeah, this is where we're at. The internet's former favorite couple is now the industry's favorite cautionary tale. Reynolds thought silence would protect him, but all it did was tie him to a tornado in Louboutin heels. Meanwhile, Blake Lively turned her legal drama into an Olympic sport, racking up subpoenas like she's collecting infinity stones.
I firmly believe they're fed up. Look, they filed a motion to quash it. They didn't want to be anything to do with this. Why would we be in this? This is crazy.
So May 14th rolls in, and boom, court filings drop like a nuke. And not just any filings. These little gems contain private texts that drag Taylor Swift straight into the drama. Yeah, Taylor freaking Swift, Blake's so-called bestie. The one person you don't blindside unless you're actively looking to get socially executed. One text, one screenshot, and suddenly everyone's clutching their pearls and refreshing Instagram like their lives depend on it. And right on cue, by May 15-16, Taylor and Gigi Hadid unfollowed Ryan Reynolds. Now, in Hollywood, that's not a casual move. That's a social death certificate. If Taylor unfollows you, you don't just lose friends. You lose brand deals, credibility, maybe even your will to post memes. The internet saw that and knew instantly. This wasn't trouble in paradise. This was a full-scale betrayal, Taylor style. One source said Taylor was completely blindsided by Blake's tactics. especially being mentioned in legal filings without even a courtesy text. I mean, can you imagine being used as a pawn in your friend's courtroom meltdown, only to find out through some lawsuit screenshot? That's not friendship, that's PR warfare. And of course, Ryan's name was smeared right in the middle of it, because why not?
Clearly, Ryan was instrumental in the marketing of the movie, and the marketing was a huge problem. So yeah, Ryan now has to save face to prove that, no, it wasn't his fault. The marketing wasn't my fault, babe. And also, Blake doesn't like to get the bad press.
But wait, it gets even better. These texts didn't just name drop celebs. They exposed how Blake and Ryan were literally scripting their public image. "Silence is our best weapon," she messaged him on February 28th, like it's a Marvel movie and they're battling Thanos. No, girl, this is not a spy thriller. You're being sued for subpoenaing TikTokers and possibly tanking your own marriage. Maybe not the best time for Bond-level strategies.
It's not just Blake's fault, but the way Blake went about it and everything else, it was sketchy, super sketchy. And full disclosure, we have filed our Google subpoena is now out as well.
Speaking of the marriage, wow. Just when you think it couldn't get more unhinged, May 17th hits. Blake reportedly breaks down in tears at their fancy Bedford estate, literally begging Ryan not to testify. I mean, not metaphorically. She's sobbing, desperate. "Don't do this. Just stand with me." And Ryan? Ice cold. He hits her with a, "I'm not going down for this." Man switched from Deadpool to deadbeat in record time. At that point, Blake wasn't asking for loyalty, she was asking for survival. And he straight up said, "Nope." That tells you everything you need to know. This wasn't Romeo and Juliet. This was Titanic, and Ryan just kicked her off the floating door. Their last public appearance together was April 24th in London, doing a promo shoot for some alcohol brand. And according to insiders, the vibe was stiff, awkward, and weirdly formal, like two co-workers who hate each other but still need the paycheck. Professional but distant, they said. Translation: "We're pretending we don't despise each other in front of the cameras, but this marriage is hanging on by a thread and a brand contract."
Disney is no longer happy? Yes, Bob Iger himself and Disney have been trying to get Ryan Reynolds to drop this nonsense. This is all absolutely valid. This is not frivolous.
And of course, everything's falling apart professionally too. Ryan's company, Maximum Effort, oh, the irony, has completely flatlined. 3 major projects just got iced: Shadow Curtain with Amazon, a comedy series starring Maya Rudolph, and a docuseries on celebrity branding with FX. All of them on hold indefinitely. Netflix couldn't distance themselves fast enough. Leaked emails from May 19th confirmed the obvious. No one's touching anything with the Reynolds Lively name on it. It's like a virus now. And remember that $610 million gin deal with Diageo? Yeah, even they're stepping back. The people who literally printed Ryan's face on alcohol bottles are now like, maybe not right now.
That's what the case is for, Ryan. And so you don't get to just throw your power around and keep demanding that it's frivolous and to go away and blah, 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 blah. You are so out of touch, it's wild.
And then comes the Times Square moment. Picture it. A 70-foot billboard featuring Reynolds in full Father's Day glory, plastered across the NASDAQ tower, poof. Pulled on May 20th, just like that, gone. One media buyer said they didn't even get a reschedule notice. Translation: this was urgent, reputational damage, abort mission now. 2 huge media agencies, Horizon Media and 360i, slammed the brakes on luxury campaigns featuring Blake and Ryan. You know how bad it has to be for ad agencies to cancel campaigns after they've already been shot? They'd rather eat the cost than risk associating with this circus.
You guys started this lawsuit. Let's not forget, you were the ones who started the lawsuit.
And guess what? Even Aviation Gin, Ryan's precious baby, took a hit. Between May 19th and 25, Diageo's stock dropped 6.4%. That's the steepest decline they'd had in 9 months. And that, my friend, is what we call the Reynolds effect. Suddenly, the man who made sarcasm a currency is just bad for business. Desperate to regain control, Ryan tried to buy back more equity in Aviation Gin. Like somehow becoming more involved would fix things. Diageo said, "Thanks but no thanks." Their response was basically corporate speak for, "We're not going down with you." They didn't even pretend, just flat out told him, "Not the right time?" Translation, "You're radioactive, dude." So in the span of about 2 weeks, Ryan Reynolds went from being the face of every billboard and brand on the planet to being scrubbed out like a bad Photoshop job. Nobody wants a piece of this mess. Not the studios, not the brands, not the A-listers, and not even the gin folks. And Blake? Still out here filing lawsuits and pretending she's the real victim while her empire collapses around her. Meanwhile, Ryan stands there like a malfunctioning bobblehead, watching every project he's touched get frozen, paused, or deleted from existence. Let's just start with the fact that Blake Lively has filed a third amended complaint. And this time, it's over 700 pages long. 700 pages. Girl turned her lawsuit into a Marvel script, minus the plot, coherence, or likability. She's not just suing anymore. She's submitting a dystopian novel to the court. I'm convinced her lawyers just Ctrl+C Reddit threads and pasted them into a PDF.
Hello, everyone. There's been another 700 pages that's been added to this legal drama since yesterday. It's bananas.
But wait, it gets better. In this doorstop-sized legal document, she literally accuses Justin Baldoni of orchestrating a TikTok smear campaign from a hammock in Maui. No, I'm not kidding. She's basically claiming that while Justin was on vacation with his wife and kids, he was somehow controlling the TikTok algorithm like a Bond villain. From a beach chair, with pineapple juice in one hand and internet destruction in the other. That's the level of logic we're dealing with here.
It was all of the bad press that Ryan, all these little intuitions, all these things were putting himself out there to make fun of Justin Baldoni.
Meanwhile, Blake is crying emotional distress because of red carpet hate comments. You know, the real war crimes. She says she's traumatized, but she's been walking those same carpets in custom Chanel, debuting a new designer outfit per subpoena like it's New York Fashion Week. If this is distress, then pass the trauma, because she's glowing.
But here's the breaking news. While Blake Lively was heroically enduring the trauma of internet backlash by walking red carpets in fresh off the runway couture, Justin Baldoni was engaged in very suspicious activities.
And the stuff she's included as evidence? Get this. She's mad people were commenting that her name was placed higher than Anna Kendrick's on a poster. Not death threats, not defamation, a poster. Like, imagine walking into court, looking a judge dead in the eyes and saying, "Your Honor, I'm suing because they said I had top billing." If that isn't clown behavior, I don't know what is. But wait, now she's calling herself a whistleblower. Let that sink in. Blake Lively, whistleblower. She's not outing government corruption. She's mad people didn't like how she promoted her movie. It's like watching someone claim to be Rosa Parks because they didn't get enough likes on a sponsored post. She wants to be seen as a hero for suing YouTubers over captions. And somehow, she's doing this while backed by New York Times, Vogue, Glamour, and Elle. The irony is louder than her publicist's next meltdown.
Justin and his digital army was controlling every TikTok and YouTube algorithm and group chat from Maui to Mars to make sure that people didn't like her.
And while she screams media manipulation, she's out here literally manipulating media. Every outlet she name drops has been slobbering over her like she invented feminism. All while her brands, Betty Buzz and Betty Booze, continue to roll out new launches like it's business as usual. Meanwhile, comments on her product pages are filled with backlash, dragging her harder than a Real Housewives reunion. But she just keeps launching, because if there's one thing Blake loves more than a courtroom monologue, it's capitalism. And of course, in her 20-year career, she's never experienced this kind of hate. Really? TikTok criticism is now the emotional equivalent of war trauma? Sis, welcome to the internet. You don't get to sue your way into universal approval. This isn't a scripted Netflix special. Not everyone's gonna love you, especially when you act like a villain straight out of a CW soap.
Because nothing says target of cyber abuse like arriving on a film premiere in a custom Chanel while claiming your emotional distress was caused by someone's TikTok caption.
Now, let's talk about Ryan. Remember him? Hollywood's sarcastic sweetheart? Well, he's officially out here losing Deadpool. Disney launched an internal review into his behavior because apparently this man was sending texts during Deadpool 3 filming, and not good luck messages. We're talking leaked convos with outside parties about Blake's mess, and that's a big no-no in Marvel land. Then, on May 16th, Marvel dropped behind-the-scenes promo pics for Deadpool 3. Reynolds? Nowhere to be found. He was literally on set, still invisible. That's how badly Disney wants us to forget he exists. And now there's talk of replacing him with Taron Egerton, the Kingsman himself. Imagine building a franchise, only to be swapped out like an expired yogurt in the fridge.
Some legal experts are calling this a bold new frontier in litigation, feelings-based lawfare. If successful, this case could open the door for millions of fragile public figures.
Even worse, Disney slashed merchandise projections by 34%. Retailers like Hot Topic are now asking whether they should pull Reynolds-themed Deadpool items off the shelves. You know you've hit rock bottom when even emo teens don't want your face on their hoodies. And speaking of being erased from existence, Ryan's agency WME hit him with the ultimate kiss of death on May 21st. They moved him to indefinite pause status in their database. That's the industry equivalent of putting a do not resuscitate on your career. You don't come back from that without a full reputation resurrection, and maybe a public exorcism. Netflix didn't waste time either. They canceled a $40 million action comedy called Lockstep. Just dropped it like a hot lawsuit. The reason? Escalated brand risk. In other words, Reynolds' name is now one step above actual felons when it comes to PR safety. An internal audit flagged his brand risk at 40%, up from under 5%. Let that number cook for a second. This guy went from safest celeb investment to call legal in less than 6 months. That's the kind of trajectory that makes even Ezra Miller look like a manageable liability. And if you thought it couldn't get worse, Diageo, the liquor giant that bought Aviation Gin, has now swapped Ryan's face out of their branding. He used to be the brand. Now, he's been replaced with generic stock images. Even his philanthropy gala got canned. The event that raised millions for kids, gone. Not because he couldn't fund it, because nobody wants their name next to his right now. And here we are. Ryan Reynolds, once the golden boy of Hollywood, is now labeled a Category 3 endorsement risk. A classification usually saved for people with actual legal charges. Meanwhile, Blake is still out here filing lawsuits, dropping skincare, and playing the victim while the world burns around her. From Deadpool to dead weight. From Betty Buzz to buzzing subpoenas. From red carpets to red flags. No apology, no accountability, just a collapsing empire built on sarcasm, subpoenas, and a delusional sense of victimhood. Stick around, because this Hollywood disaster isn't over. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next meltdown.